Good day, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us for another show. Happy to have alongside two guests with the St. Albans Recreation Department, the longtime director, Kelly Viens. Kelly, good to see you.
Nice to be here.
And Lee Barrett, the program manager.
Hey, Richard.
Anyway, good to see you guys. Thanks for coming on board.
Yeah, thank you.
And I should note, well, probably not so important for a show like this, but who knows? We're taping this show on Thursday, January 23rd, in case some wild stuff happens with you guys in the next couple of days or something.
It's dated.
Anyway, so kind of midwinter, Kelly. Quieter time for rec or anything but.
Yeah, there aren't really many quiet times. Yeah. If it's not, something isn't going on, we're getting ready for something. So, yeah I mean, right now we're kind of sad with the little amount of snow that we've got.
Well, I would kill. In fact, I'm a cross-country skier, don't downhill, but with a crust of about an inch or two, another inch or two of powder, cross-country would be just outstanding. I was out at Champlain the other day, but yeah, I'd kill for a little more powder.
We've had, a little snow, and Tyler's been out there grooming the cross-country trails.
Boy,
so whenever there is an opportunity and the conditions are right, they're out there, trying to set down a base for some good Nordic skiing.
Geez, I got to check out Hardak. Yeah, I usually go out to the golf course, but yeah, I got to give Hardak some attention. Lee, give us some background. First time I've been interviewing you, met you. Give us some background on yourself.
Sure. As we were talking about before, I was working for the town of Highgate in the recreation department, running the programs and events and running the arena up there.
Good job with the arena. I usually skate there a couple times.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thanks. I can't take credit for it in the last couple of years, but
and the arena's hanging in there.
It's hanging in there. It seems to be hanging in. Yeah. They've grown from just one kind of part-time position when I started to a full-time director and a buildings and grounds person. So that's great for them. Yeah.
Huh. So again, you logged some time in Highgate.
Well, was there, and before that I was in Colchester at the recreation department, and then
was Al Vochel Colchester town manager at that point, or
no,
probably okay.
Had a little meeting with Kelly and a couple other rec folks in the area when I was in Highgate, and found out there was a position opening up and jumped on board. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So again, not too many quiet times. So I guess let's start with the pool.
Sure.
How's the pool?
The pool is great. We still find there's so many people that don't realize that it is a year-round pool, that they think that big dome is how we close it up for the winter, but it is.
The domes work pretty well.
They do. The company we purchased this dome from is in Ontario, so they're well aware of our climate and our challenges. And it protects the air is 84 to 85 degrees in there, and the water is about 82 or 83 degrees. So all winter long, that's it's such a nice reprieve from 9 degrees and 2 degrees. It's nice to just step in there and enjoy the warmth.
Yeah. How are you doing money-wise? I guess with anything like this, ideally you'd be breaking even on that. Is that not quite happening? But are you doing pretty well with the pool? Or?
We are doing pretty well with the pool.
Yeah.
We are lagging slightly in sales. Maybe we set our goals, our excitement for the pool, and how everyone's excitement was going to translate.
This is the second winter for the pool, or am I off a year?
This is our third winter.
Yeah, off a year. Third winter.
But the pool does do well, and it is used. A regular schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 in the morning until 10 a.m. is adult lap swim.
Wow.
Then there's public swim. If anyone can come in, use the shallow end, use the lap lanes. We also have fitness classes that take place during the day. We've got master swim that happens at 6 a.m. and it happens again at noontime.
Master swim?
So master swim, it gives you the idea from the name that you should be a fabulous swimmer, and that is not the case. What it is an adult program. And we have Dee Christie, who's been with us for years. She coaches the early
she has
morning.
Been with you for years.
The early morning classes, and then or sessions. And then Rodney Centeno is our new aquatic director, and he coaches the midday sessions. And what it is just if you're an adult and you want to swim and you'd like maybe some guidance, or maybe you'd like a workout, or maybe you'd like someone to critique your stroke, that's what Master Swim Swim is. It's not this high level. I mean, it can be, but it's everybody wherever they're at, meeting them there and helping them develop a swimming routine that works for them, that they're happy with.
Interesting. Does Burlington, are there other indoor pools around? Does Burlington have an indoor pool, I assume?
There's the YMCA has a pool.
The
Edge
Y
has a
does?
pool. There's a pool at UVM. There are some indoor pools. We're the only municipal pool
Really?
with a dome, whereas so we can enjoy those magnificent 3 months of summer that we have.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, we get 9 months of this great, a great climate underneath that dome to be able to swim year round.
So you said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, are you closed?
No, those are the early mornings that we're there
morning.
at 5:30.
You open seven days a week?
Yes.
Or
We're
7
open
days a week?
every day. We're closed on Christmas. We're closed on Thanksgiving, stuff like that. But we're open every day of the week.
Interesting. Lee, what's a typical day for you? Is there no such thing as a typical day?
There's no typical day, no.
But tell us about your job, Tell me about being
Sure.
a program manager.
Yeah, well, it's coordinating our athletics, our basketball, soccer, lacrosse. It's coordinating with Kelly and Chloe, our colleague in the office, and Rodney at the pool, and John on buildings and grounds, coordinating the events and other programs that are going on through the department. Our daughter gala, our son shindig. Again, I mentioned the sports. We do cocoa and crafts, which is a kind of a morning activity for 4-year-olds. And so it's every day, coming up with new ideas, coordinating the old ideas, and making everything exciting for the folks of St. Albans.
Are you always thinking about new programs? Sounds like you have a ton of programs. Always thinking about new stuff to do.
Pretty constantly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd have, if we wrote them all down, we'd have a long list. We could never get to all of them. But yeah, we're constantly just chatting about what else we could bring. So.
And at the same time, some of the programs you've had for years go away. I mean, there's some change, or that it's usually more just adding new programs.
I think whenever a program is over or at the end of a season, we sit down and, okay, what was great? What do we leave alone? What do we make better? So everything changes a little, but we haven't gotten rid of any programs. We basically
just build on things.
Yeah.
We just continue to build and talk to each other and shift it. So.
How are you doing? Again, it's St. Albans City owns Hardack, correct?
Yeah.
Of course, if you go back a few years when the pool first came up and the decisive vote in the city to go ahead with this and the narrow defeat in St. Albans town.
You're trying to make me feel sad, Richard.
And I got to think there's some folks in the town. I've talked to some folks who feel bad about that, but anyway.
I think it was an 11-vote defeat.
It was a close vote.
Yeah,
but then it came back the next year, and again, city voters decisively approved it.
Right, and we do speak to lots of families in the town that wish it went a different way. But the pool is there. We got the exact pool that was in the initial proposal.
Yeah.
Because that's not something you can fix or add to or do something about later.
Yeah.
The things that weren't included is we didn't pave the driveway, and anyone who goes there can attest to that.
I've asked Mayor Smith about that, and he said that was one of the things you had to drop out of there.
Yeah, it does create our own little speed bump, though.
Yeah.
A few things like that were left out, and the building shrunk in size a little bit.
Yeah.
But it, for all intents and purposes, it's exactly the pool that we wanted.
Yeah. So that's worked out. You see that as a huge plus. That's worked out pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, when it's hard to see what's going on under the dome, but there are people there all day.
Really?
People visit for all different reasons, whether you're an elderly person and you're working on PT, or you just want movement, and the water is warm and it's a great, safe way to get some exercise. You might be training for something and be a swimmer. You might be someone attending the fitness classes. You might be a kid taking swim lessons. You might be a little family taking swim lessons with infants and parents. You might be just there to do lap swim every day. and we have a winter swim team now, which is amazing, and they're having great results. And we're part of the USA Swim program, which is our summer program is a little more laid back. It's part of the Champlain Valley Swim League.
And this is the sharks we're talking
Yep,
about?
this is the sharks. We have winter sharks, and then we have our
Really?
regular summer sharks. And a lot of those kids are the same kids.
Yeah.
And then some just do one season or the other. This year we have our winter sharks they've gone to Norwich, they've gone to UVac, they've gone to Montreal for meets. So it's kind of exciting for those kids to travel like that. And we have about 36 kids on the team, I think, 38 kids, and about 20 of those kids travel on a regular basis every weekend for meets. So
Wow.
that's a great opportunity for kids that wasn't available.
And summer shark, we're talking much higher numbers in
Summer
the
sharks,
summer, I assume?
yeah, anywhere from 120
Really?
to 150 kids on the team in the summer, and
Wow.
that's just it's amazing. Like I said, you don't see what's going on under the dome right now, but in
Yeah.
the summertime,
Yeah.
that pool is busy from 5:30 in the morning until 9 at night, and it's
Wow.
just all different activities.
Interesting. Are there any food options in there? There's no,
Oh yeah, we've
There
got
are.
a nice little concession. We have drinks, we have ice cream, we have snacks, and in the summer we have a more extensive like yogurt, cheese sandwiches, that type of thing. But yeah, so you can come have a snack, have a drink.
interesting. I do get over there I catch the Ollie lectures coming up soon at Greg Brown Lodge, and,
Right.
And that place gets very, very good words.
It's a beautiful room. I mean, the lodge is wonderful in that room. I don't think when people walk in the door to the lodge, they don't expect that gorgeous room,
Yeah.
that they're going to walk into, I think.
What do you do? Again, I'm there for Ollie lectures. Tell me what other uses? Is there more use? And people can rent that and
Yeah,
and that happen? Of course, you have
weekends are
the
pretty-
big event in September, of course.
We do
Yes.
Afterglow there,
Afterglow.
yeah. So coming up, we have Winter Carnival that's going to take
That
place.
was on my list.
Yeah,
Boy,
in
weather.
February.
Is that what's the date for that?
February 15th
Feb 15th.
is the Saturday, and
Boy,
we're
the weather gods have just not treated you
No,
well for that.
I know, but there's always been this little blessing of an inch of snow the night before, at least to cover the ground.
So that's a Saturday, I
Yep,
assume?
it's Saturday, and we're also adding some events on Friday night, the 14th, if indeed the conditions allow. We want to have some kids' lollipop races. We've got, music, a fire on the deck. We've got a snowshoe trek.
Yep.
So some fun on Friday night, and then the full day of activities on Saturday.
Wow. Well, I wish you better luck this year. Outdoor skating, there's no outdoor, that's happened a few years. Seems like I remember some years ago in a little outdoor skating rink
Yeah, it was where the pool is now.
where the pool
Yeah,
is.
and there's lots of talk of a rink at Hardack. I think the most attractive notion would be, because we've tried, and without refrigeration, the
Yeah.
weather, you have beautiful conditions for 2 days, and then it's mush, and then it's just
It's a lot
hard,
of work for little.
A lot of
very
work.
little
The
reward.
good folks in St. Albans Town, I think, former Public Works Director, maybe going back 5 years or so, actually
Yeah.
had a rink at the Bay Park and stuff. Great idea, but
It's just so hard.
that's really tough.
I think when we consider it, we talk about refrigeration, so that we could have
Wow.
maybe a very beautiful, natural-looking outdoor rink, but we wouldn't
Yeah.
have to depend on the temperatures to remain
Wow.
low.
And I've been around here long enough, hate to tell you how long, but I can have a vague memory of playing some tennis courts
Right.
at Hardack long ago.
And that's that spot, same
That
spot.
same spot.
Yeah.
No thought to throwing a couple tennis courts up these days.
Not at the top of the list. We just
No.
replaced the courts at Houghton Park.
And
so-
great job with that.
They're gorgeous, and they were needed to be replaced. There's 2 new basketball courts. There's 1 tennis court replaced, and in the space of the other tennis courts, we have 3 pickleball courts.
Right, yeah, I did
So,
play some tennis down there. Very,
it's,
very nice court.
yeah, it looks good, and our Barlow courts are still in,
Yeah.
good shape, and
Yeah,
those
they're
were
decent.
on top of maintenance, and
Yeah.
it's another option.
Yeah. No, the Houghton Park, that was, I certainly appreciated that. Those courts, it was turning into Wimbledon a little bit with grass coming up
Yeah.
and some of the cracks and stuff. But no, you did a good. Did that project seem to go pretty well? The
It did.
Houghton Park.
It did. I mean, we use Vermont tennis courts. We've used them for all of our courts. They're great, and they come in when they say they're going to. They do the job, and they're great. So we're very happy with the outcome.
Wow. Number of participants. Can you tell me how many folks show up at the pool, or just do you keep track of like total?
You're hardly going to believe it, but
probably
on a summer day, on a regular summer day,
this is the pool we're talking about.
This is the pool. There's 600 to 700 people that go through the gates every day.
Really?
If it's a day when we're hosting a swim meet, there's over 1,000 people.
Really?
People just can't believe it, but it's from, like I said, from 5:30 in the morning, people just cycle through for different events. And in the afternoon, we might have, 300 people from the public there for public swim. And then we've got day campers there. We have 150 kids on site. So it is a busy place.
Well, it sounds like it. Parking, is there always enough? You've got kind of some of your off-site parking, but parking you can deal with okay?
Yeah, I mean, we always have a little shoulder season where we panic with parking because we do depend on a field that is for overflow parking, and it has to be frozen or it has to be dry. And we do have a little nail biting every now and then about the conditions. But it's worked out. But it's worked out
okay.
Yep.
Is the dog park? Are you folks? Is that your baby? The dog park?
The dog park is part of HARDAC and part of the Recreation Department, and we just recently. Someone from the dog park is now a representative on the Rec Commission, the Parks and Rec Commission. So that is kind of brings them in. They were separate. It was an independent build, I guess. And now they're kind of brought in under the Parks and Rec Commission.
And then how long has the dog park been there? It's been there for a while, huh?
Yeah.
Talking maybe like 10 years or something?
Anyway,
maybe longer.
Yeah.
And that's worked, so a big plus, obviously. I see a lot of activity there most of the time.
Yeah, it's well attended all times of day. There's a lot of people that enjoy that.
Lee, any surprise since you've been in St. Albans as a program manager? What kind of strikes you with St. Albans? Has this been, pluses and minuses or surprises?
I mean, it's really all pluses. I feel fortunate that I live in St. Albans, and so getting to live and work in the same community has been really cool for me.
Yeah.
So it's all pluses. It's of course it's a lot of work. We put in a lot of hours, but it's all worth it. When you see smiling faces and you see people, applaud you for the program or the event that we put on, it makes it all worthwhile. So it's all plus. It is tough work, and we work a lot of hours, but we often we sit back at the end and go, that was cool. So it's all good.
Yeah, and Lee came, I'll say, with a lot of fans because when from Highgate, when he would be at the office and people would walk into the building, they'd come back and go, Lee, so he had a lot of fans in Highgate.
Yeah, I paid them a couple bucks to.
Interesting. Speaking of Highgate, do you get some Highgate folks? You obviously get some folks. We
get people from all over.
Yeah,
from all over, even beyond Franklin County, or more?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We have a surprising amount of people from Chittenden and Lamoille County.
Really?
Because sometimes something we're offering isn't something that is offered in their community, or they really like our version of it, or like our soccer program. How many? We have
hundreds, 300 plus.
300 plus kids in it.
Yep.
Really?
And so our kids, we might have 6 or 8 little teams in the 3-4 division. So they play each other. I mean, we don't play in a league. Our games are all on in the morning, on the weekends at HARDAC, and the purple team plays the blue team, plays the orange team, and a lot of other communities don't have that. They're in a smaller area, and they like that kind of community. And I know that so many people, when they talk about, they'll come up for a soccer on a Saturday morning at HARDAC, and they go, "This is what community is. This is wonderful. This is, they can come to the snack bar, get a coffee, go sit on the patio and watch everything unfolding in front of them, and they just really like it."
So you get so you're getting a number of people from even out of Franklin County.
Yeah, we do, and we get people out of New York. We get,
Really?
Yeah, they're,
Does Plattsburgh have like an indoor pool?
I don't know about that,
Don't
but
know.
I know
Maybe
we
it's
get a lot of,
maybe SUNY
we get a lot
Plattsburgh.
of families, so much thought was put into this pool as to how many people in different ways could enjoy it.
Yeah.
And certainly, there, people who come from a distance who want to spend the day there, especially in the summer, we've got that, 20-foot slide.
Yeah.
That's not something that you see everywhere, and kids, love it.
Yeah.
We have the mushroom with the water pouring out. Kids love that. And then we have zero entry, so it's like a beach. You walk right in.
Yeah.
So little kids, if you've got little ones, it's a much more enjoyable day because your kid can sit right on the edge and splash around. And so, and then you've got lanes for people to do serious lap swimming. And then we've got a diving well to use the board. So there's lots of different ways to play there.
Yeah.
And I think people enjoy, and it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
So it's a nice place to sit and bring a picnic and sit there for the day. And, we get a lot of visitors.
I guess with the relative lack of snow this winter, not the best year for skiers at Hardag. Has there been some skiing at times?
Some people hike up.
Some people hike up. The rope is not running,
Is
but
that the rope? The rope hasn't run all winter.
yet.
no,
Just because of skiing conditions not being good enough.
right. So I think when people see snow, they start asking us, is the rope running? What's going on?
Immediately.
Yeah,
First
immediately.
snowflake
Really?
comes down and they say,
Is that right?
is the rope running? Yeah.
But what has to happen, because if we say, sure, go ski, 2, 3, 4 laps down, you've cut right through the snow and you're on grass.
Yeah.
So you need a base, and in order to get a base, you have to groom it, and in order to groom it, you need 12 inches of snow.
Oh, is that
So
right?
it's
12
kind of this.
inches?
It seems like there's enough, and there's enough. We have people who we don't stop anyone from hiking up and snowboarding or skiing down, but in order to create a base that will last,
Yeah.
we need 12 inches of snow. And they were making snow all week.
This whole
I
week
was
they've been
I
making
was gonna
snow, yeah.
didn't smugglers give you folks some
Yep.
snowmaking equipment?
Yeah.
Bunch of years ago.
Yeah, that stuff, all of that is working, and then the Holscheiders and Afterglow
Wow.
donated a beautiful new fan gun that makes
Really?
a blizzard of snow. And
So you can make snow.
yeah, we've been making snow all week.
All week the guys have been up there making snow.
really?
Yeah. They come in after work and they spend a couple hours blowing snow on the hill.
Is
Yeah.
this the first time all winter that you've really been doing some serious
Yeah.
snowmaking?
Because it's,
Yeah.
With consistent, very cold temps,
It's a lot
obviously.
of work, a lot of to set up each day, each time you're going to make snow.
Yeah.
And it's expensive. It's called Snowmax. It's like the magic that helps make the artificial snow.
Yeah.
And so you've got to really look at the calendar and go, okay, if we don't want to make snow on Wednesday and have it be 47 degrees on Thursday.
Right.
So you want to look for something like the weather we have right now where it's cold for an extended period of time so you can make that snow. And Jesse was there this morning with the groomer spreading out the snow they made yesterday to
Really?
make some more today.
So how long will it take you to get up to your foot base that you need if the weather holds cold?
I don't think we've ever gotten to a foot with artificial snow.
really?
We need
No.
snow.
You need
We
s-
need, it's a great supplement and it can get us over the top, but we need real snow too.
Interesting. On the cross-country trails, there's no snowmaking on the cross-country
All
trail.
natural.
No, that's all
All
natural.
natural.
And
All natural.
last year, the year before, Tyler decided that a good idea would be, because there's so much wind there, to put some snow fences up to catch snow. And so he would take the drifted snow, if there was a part of the trail that was missing snow, and kind of transfer it over. So we don't have artificial snow or snowmaking over there, but we have very creative and industrious people, grooming the trails.
And how long are the trails? It's been a while since I've been over there. It's cross-country.
Yeah, I mean, we have 95 acres of
Yeah.
Really?
land.
Miles and miles of
Miles,
trails.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The
And it
groomed trails
depends.
are I don't know, I would say 3 or 4 miles worth, all
Yeah.
looping across
Really?
each other. Yeah.
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 So did you get some? Like I said, I was at Champlain a week ago for a couple of days when there was just enough on grass to cross-country. Were you getting some cross-country
Oh,
folks
yeah.
there?
There were
For sure.
definitely, I think the thing is, when people see snow,
Yeah.
they get out there. And for Nordic, there was enough. And hopefully we're going to get more snow on Friday and they'll be able to maintain some trails.
And in a better snow winter, you'd be getting the BFA folks for Alpine. They would.
Right. Now they go a little bit higher, and it's crazy, just a tiny bit higher in elevation, and they've got some snow where they practice now.
Well, the snowboard team does come out to
The
to
snowboards,
Hard Act.
yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they come out, well, not every day, but most days and hike up and make the trek back
Yeah.
and forth. Yeah.
And hiking, yeah, I'm close enough from my house. I certainly hike up there, not as much as I should, but great hiking place.
Yeah.
Some nice new signs in the past couple of years up there.
Yeah, everything is pretty well, I mean, we think pretty well marked, and
Yeah.
actually, Lee, you were working on,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're working on mapping the trails through GPS. So we're working with a company that will track all the trails. They'll put a map together, and we can put waypoints on the map. So, as an example, the Wolf Monument that's up on the top of the
I
hill.
just almost mentioned the Wolf
Yeah,
Monument.
so we'll put that as a waypoint, and so someone that comes in, we have paper maps, but someone that comes in could pull up Trail Finder, I think is the app. They can pull up Trail Finder on their phones, and we'll be able to see all of the trails throughout all of Hardack.
Really, are you pretty much trailed out up there? Any thought to new trails, or I'm not?
well, actually, yeah, we just,
Yeah.
you know
Just
what?
blazed a new one, kind of.
Kind of. So, people, there are footpaths where people want to
Sure.
go,
Right.
and there is, kind of was a loop off of the regular trail system.
Yeah.
And Tyler Magnan does so much of the maintenance on the trail,
Yeah.
both for
Shout out, Tyler.
cross country, yeah, and for skiing and for running. And this little loop was approved by the Aldous Hill Committee and the Hardack Committee to
Yeah.
just extend, kind of formalize the trail. So that's happened last fall, and then they'll kind of do some cleanup and hook it up a little better this spring.
Are we talking basically two separate entities when we're talking Hardack and Aldous Hill Playground? I guess is the official name.
Yeah.
Right.
So they are two separate groups, but certainly work together.
Yeah.
Everything pretty much, if you're on top of Hardack and you look towards the city,
Yeah.
that's Aldous Hill,
Right.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And if you're on Hardack and you look down towards Hardack,
That's Hardack.
that's Hardack. But they do connect, trails connect, the properties connect. It's but it is a separate entity and separate financing for Aldous Hill.
And there's an Aldous Hill Playground, like board of directors, I
Yes.
assume.
Yep.
As there is for Hardack, I assume.
So
What's that?
Hardack Ski Hill, the board of directors, Hardack Commission, still oversees that and some fundraising, and then the city recreation department oversees pretty much everything else.
Yeah, I know my old friend Tim Hurlbert for at least a lot of years was very involved in Hardack. Is Tim still?
Yeah, Tim, I believe, is the new president of
Really?
that commission again.
Interesting. I remember getting some concerns about the playground with homelessness being a bit of an issue. Was that?
Yeah, so we've always had, stragglers, people.
Every once in a while,
every
hiking,
once
I'll
in a while.
I'll see a tent up
Yeah.
there once in a while.
And sometimes it's a kid, and sometimes it's like, nope, that's somebody, setting up a house. We've always had that.
Really?
And this year, when the expectation was it was going to be terrible,
Yeah.
I should knock on wood. We've had
Really?
no issues at all.
Yeah,
Really?
zero.
Yep,
Interesting. So nothing this winter.
nothing at all. No,
Interesting.
but I'll tell you what, that playground is another really popular
Oh yeah.
destination. I mean, people drive in and go right over it. I mean, that's what they're there for, and it's a great.
And that's a pretty new initiative there, correct?
Yep, the Garibes and Med
Right.
Associates. Valdemar they love playgrounds and
really?
thought it would be great to add
Wow,
one to
that's
Hardack.
impressive.
Yeah,
And Afterglow, how many years for Afterglow now? We're talking,
Ooh.
a number of years.
Yeah.
Several years anyway ago.
yeah,
And that's gone. That's been sounds like a really successful event.
it is. And they certainly, raise awareness for
Yeah.
suicide prevention as well as donate. I mean, they raise a lot of money for local organizations, and the Recreation Department is a beneficiary of those funds, as well as several mental health groups. So they do a great fun event, but they do a lot of good with
Yeah. And again, people can basically come to you and say, we want to do an event at Hardack or whatever, and can. So how many events do you get? Do you get a fair amount of business doing that, or
I mean, as far
is
as
there more
events,
potential for stuff like that, or?
I mean, there's always potential, and
Yeah.
you know, it always depends on the time of year and what we, you know, because we occupy that space with programming a
Yeah.
good share of the time.
Yeah.
It just depends on at the time of year and availability and what the event is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talk to people pretty regularly about ideas they have. Maybe they've got an idea and they'd like us to do it, you know, or maybe they've got an event and they want a place to do it.
Do you get weddings?
Yeah.
Do you get some weddings out there?
Yeah.
Weddings, birthday parties, retirement parties,
Interesting.
everything. Yeah, at the lodge anyway.
So at the lodge for stuff like that?
Yeah.
Well, and the property's been used for UVM and BFA cross country races.
Huh.
We've got, well, Afterglow we've already talked about, but Oktoberfest is up there as well, which is
Right.
it was a third year,
Huh.
which is a big
Yeah.
event for
Yeah.
them, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you talk about UVM cross-country, I mean, 2 times we've hosted the America East Championship. That's
Is that,
big-
boy,
that's a big
impressive.
deal. Yeah.
That's a very big
and
deal.
lots of people and
Wow.
all, you know, people from all over. If you're coming to watch your kid who's in college, I mean, it gets so much great exposure. UVM is coming back this year for the events or the races that they're going to host.
Really?
So it's we love having them. They like being here, and it's great. And it has brought in so many other like the Meet of Champions, the middle school championships.
Ellie Puri or St. Pierre comes to
Yes,
mind.
she-
Ellie's logged on some time there,
Yes,
right?
she has. Yeah.
Wow. Speaking of UVM, it should maybe note, again, we're taping this show on Thursday, Jan 23rd, the parade honoring the UVM soccer champs. I guess it's this Sunday
Oh, is it?
at Church Street
cool.
Marketplace, 1 o'clock Sunday, Jan 26th is
Excellent.
coming weekend. That was pretty cool.
exciting.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
The
Congratulations.
one thing that sounded weird to me about that, speaking of skiing, is of course that was said to be, or is UVM's first national championship. But I'm going skiing. Skiing's not a team. Can you explain that to me? I keep running into people saying, Richard, the ski team's won, I think, 6 times. What's the story with?
Oh, I was going to say, well, maybe they had champions, you know, winners, individual winners, but maybe not team. I don't know.
Interesting. I'm under the impression UVM's had 6 national champions, but maybe it's just considered individual. Who knows?
I don't know.
But the soccer, that was a pretty cool story.
Yeah, that
Yeah, very
was.
cool.
So soccer gets a lot of attention. I mean, you have a very good soccer field.
Yeah, we have a great soccer program, and Lee runs that program, and
Does that get busier every year, Lee? Do you get more kids typically?
I feel like I've been here, 3 years, and I feel like every year, it feels like it gets a little bit bigger. In fact, this year, we have our main rec fields right by the lodge and the playground, just off of the main hill at Hardack. But beyond that is the Grattan Fields, which is just a sort of a big open space.
Yeah.
And we've had to expand. So this last season, we put 3 practice fields and game fields out there for our first and second graders.
Wow.
Just to be able to have the capacity. So yeah, it's always growing. It's great.
So, staffing. Let's talk staff. Give me the staff of City Rec, and do you find it seems like everybody, you hear about labor shortage all the time. Sounds like everybody could use more people. Have you done a pretty well staff-wise?
We have, and we're really fortunate. We have Chloe Lumber with us, who is a youth program coordinator, and she heads up our day camps, our vacation camps, our afternoon programs. I mean, she does lots of other things, but those are her primary focus.
Yeah.
Our aquatic director is Rodney Centeno. And one of the guy who I think everything hinges on at that pool is Mr. Bill Doig, who is there every morning at 5 a.m.
Really?
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, gets that pool open so people can go in early and
Really?
swim their laps. And Bill has been with us since the pool opened.
Really?
And, he's great. And then we have the Weldon Theater. And
Which is definitely on my list
yeah,
here.
and Tim Haddock is the new manager there.
Met
and
him the other night.
Yeah,
and thank
he's
you for
wonderful.
bringing the Dylan movie to town, A Complete Unknown, tremendous movie.
Yeah, there have been
Good, glad you
some
liked it.
really great Great
Actually, I'd
movies.
seen a movie a few days before that, Nosferatu. Have I got that?
Oh my
that was-
gosh, no, I won't.
That was very popular. Yeah.
Is that,
It
is
was.
that right?
People liked it,
Wasn't
yeah.
there a St. Albans film group?
Yes, the
I think
film
they
club,
came. I think they came down.
probably.
My buddy Zach Scheffler, I think,
Yep.
is hooked into that.
Yeah, you won't
Yeah,
catch
that
me
was,
at that movie.
That was a pretty wild movie. I do. Willem Dafoe's one of my favorite guys. Willem was very good in that movie.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, so staffing you've done, and then talk about your staff. What
Well,
are we
our
talking
staff-
for staff?
I mean, so what people always say, regarding our day camp staff, regarding our swim instructors and our lifeguards, so many times they will, drop their kid off, kind of look around and go, man, you have the cream of the crop. And we do. And
Wow.
I feel grateful for that. I think we offer a good place to work. I think we train our staff really well. And we're fortunate that we get some terrific staff.
Yeah.
And returning staff too in the
Yeah.
summer as well.
And
that's-
many returning staff. Yeah.
So a lot of these folks are see how many full-time staff?
So we have 4 full-time rec staffers.
Okay.
We have John Nichols, who started at Hardack as the grounds and facility person. He's full-time. That's been a wonderful addition. We're able to really, we're looking to Winter Carnival, and we're putting together some very cool, fun activities that
Yeah.
we may not have been able to do without the help of someone like John
Yeah.
to help us build some stuff. And who did I just forget? Was it Tim?
Well, yeah. There's 6, right? There's Tim, Rodney, John, Chloe, myself, and
Right.
you.
So there's 6 of
So
us
6.
full-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, we've got, anywhere from 20 to 30 lifeguards and swim instructors, and 20 to 30 camp counselors. So it's
How many lifeguards are on duty, and how many lifeguards do you need on a typical busy day?
if it's a busy summer day, we might have 7, 8 guards on duty. It just depends.
I mean, at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Oh,
they rotate
really?
every I think 15,
Yeah.
15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Really?
They rotate through stations at the pool.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, and we do all that training in-house. Isaac Bashaw was our
Last time I
aquatic
talked to
director.
you, Isaac was still on board at that time.
Yeah, and he is, he
still
still
does
works
training?
as our training,
that's cool.
doing aquatic training. So he trains guards, he trains our instructors, he trains our trainers, and does some first aid and CPR training for us.
Talk about a key. So everybody gets that kind of training.
Right. If somebody's thinking, I'd like to work at the pool, but I'm not a lifeguard. If you can swim
Yeah.
and you want to learn, then we can train. So, and that goes for swim instructors too. So no one has to come to us with all those certifications. They're expensive, and they take a week at least. And we're willing to invest that in our staff to get the right people.
Any older lifeguards, or all the lifeguards typically young people? You get some old, quote, older people?
Well,
I'm sure nobody like me would ever
right.
walk
Well,
in. But,
I've just expired. My license or my certification just expired.
and you're not
but,
gonna.
I may this spring. Yeah, I may. Bill Doig, who
Yeah.
is a retired gentleman, is a
Yeah.
lifeguard, and
Really?
it's the class that he was certified in. There were 2 other adults, and one was
Really?
a city worker who was always up at Hardack working, and he said, it wouldn't kill me to have this. To have this knowledge and have, first aid and water safety, because I'm always around here.
Yeah.
And then there was just a community member who joined. So it was
Wow.
unusual that the whole class was a class of older adults.
Interesting. And water safety, have there ever been any real scary? I mean, you got to think, stuff does happen.
Yeah.
There's been some pretty scary moments with people with whatever happened.
Right. I mean, luckily, the whole job of a lifeguard is to prevent,
Sure.
bad situations.
Yeah.
But there are times when kids, go under, start
Wow.
having difficulty, and we have to make rescues.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly not
How-
all the time, but pretty regularly.
Is that right?
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a kid or even an adult, but someone who's just a little nervous. They've gotten out of their safety or their comfort zone, and they're not maybe in as much danger as they feel like they are in.
Yeah.
But
On a quote, typical busy day? Would you maybe typically have at least one rescue a day, or is just no?
I don't think it's one rescue a day,
Yeah,
because
but-
that is something, it's something that's what you're trying to manage,
Sure.
are those situations.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we probably make 3 or 4, 5, 6, it's hard to say rescues
Sure.
this summer
Yeah.
that are significant.
But stuff does, especially with the number of people you're talking about, it sounds like there would bound to be incidents every once in a while.
Well, and a lot of the incidents aren't in the water. They're like a bee sting, or
Oh,
someone
really?
has heat stroke, or
Really?
hurt them,
Tripping on the pool deck.
yeah,
Is that
cut
right?
their toe, or,
Yeah.
So there's that
Yeah.
little stuff every day.
Right. Any talk, I've asked you this before, a second indoor rink, hockey, skating rink and stuff. I used to hear Hardak mentioned every once in a while. Is
Yeah.
that just,
I hear it mentioned too.
but nothing? None.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, would you say St. Albans could use that, Kelly, or no?
I think ideally, what my thought is
Yeah.
that we could use a beautiful outdoor rink.
Yeah.
A natural looking
Yeah, that'd be
outdoor
great.
rink. But as far as like an indoor arena type thing,
Yeah.
I mean, the hockey numbers are much smaller than they used to be.
Is that right?
I
Really?
mean, back, numbers have decreased over the years.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hear things about it, but an interest in it.
But nothing. I mean,
It
no
certainly
no
isn't something
movement.
I think what we could use is an outdoor rink.
Yeah.
I think the more we keep
That'd be,
things
boy,
that
that'd be great.
look natural and fit in up there.
Yeah. So hockey numbers are down.
Well, I mean,
you
in
think?
general, it's
In
just
general.
like there's no ski team for the last 2 years.
Oh, is that right? No
yeah.
ski team?
No ski team
Oh,
at BFA.
Really?
It's those sports are expensive.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of commitment from the family to be able to get kids
Sure.
places, and some kids sometimes just want to work. I don't know, but sometimes some of those sports you see, you've seen a decrease.
Yeah. Let's talk Weldon Theater. Again, I'm struck. St. Albans has something that the big city of Burlington does not have, which is mind-blowing to me, a nice, decent downtown theater.
Yeah.
And again, I've got friends, there's some critics out there and stuff, but I love movies. But again, it's obviously with efforts to keep downtown going and give some life to downtown. But talk Weldon, and I've seen you personally in there. Sounds like you folks have done a lot of work to get the Weldon Theater in much better shape.
Well, I would certainly say
This
A
This
lot
guy-
of work has been done. Yeah.
Lee
Can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly been quite the process, since it's just been over about a year
Just
and a half.
over a year,
Yeah,
yeah.
just over a year now.
Is that right? A little over a year?
Yeah, and we've done a lot of work, spent a lot of time in the theater, getting things to look and smell and sound like they do now.
Yeah.
And I think we've come a long way, and I'm proud of it. It's fun to see it now. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of work to get it there.
Yeah. And
And
it'd be
I
nice
think
if
that-
people, I'm sure some X number of people probably, don't even say, there's still, the Weldon is still open these days.
Right.
So many people come in, at least when we were there more frequently before Tim came on board.
Yeah.
People would walk in the door and go, I haven't been in here, and I haven't been here in 20 years.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to see people come in and that haven't been in a while.
And the hope is
Experience it.
obviously to just get a lot more people in there.
Right.
Any
Yeah,
particular strategy for trying to get more people, into the Weldon?
I think we have a lot of them. We try a lot of different things. We
Yeah.
have promotions, we have events.
Of course, Northwest Nightmares comes right to mind.
Right.
I mean,
That's right.
That
That's a
packs
great
place.
event.
Great job that
plug
these guys
for
were
Northwest
involved with.
Nightmares.
I missed it. I caught it. In fact, I think they might have, don't tell anybody, they might have given me a personal late night showing. Thank you, Alan, for that. I came back on the train the night. I missed it by a couple of hours coming back on the Vermonter that night.
Sure.
But it pretty much a full house for that event.
Yeah.
Great event.
Yeah.
And you're doing, sounds like more things like that with, movies. I think I missed a movie this week, in fact, that I didn't take enough note of. Did you happen to catch that? The
The Yorkie Werewolf. I did not
Yorkie
see that
Werewolf.
one.
I
No.
blew it. I was here Tuesday night and I forgot
should've
about
watched.
But
No,
you're trying to get more things like that.
Yeah, we've done. We've had a couple holiday events where we did the Grinch this year. We showed a movie, and then kids and families could visit the Grinch at City Hall right next door.
And
Yeah.
Lee was the Grinch and did an
Well,
amazing
no,
job.
really. It was-
Kelly, nobody needs to know that. Yeah, and then the year before we did the Polar Express, and we had the conductor was there, and Santa was at City Hall, and so that was really cool. I bugged Kelly enough that this last Halloween she let us do the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the theater,
was amazing.
which was really fun.
That's funny. It
so-
doesn't happen to be my favorite movie, but I'm well aware of
Yeah.
wherever I go, the cult following
Yes.
for that and stuff.
It is,
And
yeah.
How would you get a good crowd for that?
We had 120 people
Wow.
that came by.
That's
Yeah,
doing stuff like that sounds like a
was
great
great.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really and now that the cleaning, the paint, all that work is done.
So you
It's
pretty much
really
got-
fun to. I wouldn't say done,
But
but
you're
we're
in
at
pretty
a
good
place
shape
with
where
it.
phase one we
Yeah.
are happy to be looking for fun things to do, and we certainly have so many visits from schools.
Yeah, that's
Which
good.
is amazing. They'll say, "Hey, we read this book in class. Can we come and watch it at the theater?"
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
a lot of the schools we get, a lot of the kids have never been to a theater. Never
Wow.
mind this theater.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. They come in and get their popcorn and their drink, and they get to go watch the movie with their class. And at the end, in May and June. We were doing like 5 classes or 5
Really?
visits a week from different classes in
Boy,
the morning.
that
and-
sounds like a great way to go.
yeah, it's
that's awesome.
yeah, we're pretty much open to any ideas, and we have so many independent film people that are coming around now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we showed Jay Craven from.
I was there for that. That was
Yeah, it was fantastic.
tremendous.
Yeah, so it's cool to have folks that make local films.
Yeah.
Northwest Nightmares is another example, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
I mentioned off air, boy, with Burlington, with the Roxy, which was very sad to me because they would get some movies, not your typical regular theater movies. Anyway, Roxy's history, but mentioned off air, it'd be nice. I mean, Burlington literally does not have a movie theater now, especially on the Milton side of Burlington. It'd be nice if you could just, certainly some good restaurants in town, but you see maybe some hope to get more folks from kind of out of town coming to the Weldon.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how you do that, but
I think word of mouth is the best
Yeah.
for everything.
yeah,
And I think we have that a lot with our programming. And I think the more people we get in that have an enjoyable experience, that helps and it gets people. We do a lot of social media advertising, and that you never know who you're hooking with that sometimes. So, yeah, I think the whole the feeling behind the theater was the city council felt like it was important to have the theater and to have that there. So I think we've got it in a pretty good place, and now it's just come on in, check it out.
and it seems like I heard there was a hope to maybe go beyond movies with the Weldon, to have other events or non-movie.
Yeah, we've talked about all kinds of things. We have had groups who have rented it to show a specific movie, and movies for a cause, or I don't know.
Movies that matter.
Movies that matter.
Yeah.
And then there's discussion afterwards.
Right.
We've looked at a lot of different things, bringing in a comedian, bringing in small ensembles for music.
So some performing arts
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
We're just kind of kicking those ideas around.
Yeah.
We do birthday parties where kids come
Wow.
in, they can have their cake and their gifts, and then they go watch a movie, and then they leave.
Yeah.
We've talked about doing video game
Video games, yeah.
Huh.
in the little theater, having like
Yeah.
some contests and stuff. So
Huh.
everything's fair game, really.
But you feel like there's progress here. I mean, it's been a ton of work, but just hope numbers keep going up,
Right.
obviously.
Yep, you just come on in and check it out.
And I think it's, the theater specifically is kind of of course you can watch anything on your phone or at home, but the theater kind of provides an experience that that you don't necessarily get at home. You get
Yeah.
the popcorn popping, and you get
Yeah.
butter on the popcorn, which we have real
You
butter on the
still
popcorn.
have
Yes,
still
real
have butter.
Yeah.
Certainly remember that from the
Yeah.
Gamaches days. So.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think it's an experience. You know, it's the popcorn, it's the smell, it's the being around people, it's being in a big open theater, big sound, big screen. So it's really cool. It draws people in.
Yeah. Any other, I mean, that was a kind of a huge initiative for the rec department when the city decided to keep the Weldon. Any other major stuff like that going on? Sounds like you have plenty to do with what you have, but is there always thoughts on some new stuff out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're nothing if not forward-looking and growth oriented. We're super excited about adding a second location to our day camp this summer.
Boy, it sounds like the summer, you mentioned off here, it sounds like the summer day camp situation is incredible.
It is, and you know, part of it
So
is
a
that there's
second
a strong
location
need.
you're looking at?
Yeah, we're going to have a second camp at Collins Pearly, and the breaking news, Richard.
Right. What breaking news?
Yeah, so we're super excited about it. It'll be the exact same camp that we're having at Hardack. The kids at the Collins Pearly will be bussed over in the afternoon to enjoy the pool too. So they'll have really the same experience, same great staff, same thing, and we'll be able to offer openings to 60 more families. So
And the numbers are run. So what are we talking? What'd you have last summer, number-wise?
So we had 120 at our camp, our day camp, and then we had a teen camp that Lee speared up.
10 to 12 kids on that camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that actually seems like it's grown from registration from last year to this year. Teen camp's going to be a little bigger. Before we knew we were adding another camp over at Collins Pearly, we decided we used to have a camp called Rec Rascals, and it was for 4 and 5-year-olds.
Really?
And we'd been kind of really busy growing this camp, our regular day camp, so we decided to add that this year at Hardack. So it's for kids who are 4 and 5-year-olds, little shorter day and 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week. So we're adding, 10 or 12 more kids there, and then we're adding 60 more kids over at Collins Pearly. So, I mean, the need is there, and I think a lot of the draw that people want to get into our camp is that it is a good camp. It's a great, I mean, I would feel good dropping my kid off every day. We try to be outdoors. We try to be active and outdoors as much as we can. Indoors is when the weather isn't good enough. And then we have some great options for kids. We can bring them down to City Hall, and we pull out the bouncy house and the inflatable Gaga pit and all kinds of fun things there. We bring them to the theater, see a movie, or we can bring them to Collins Pearly. They let them run around the turf. So we've got some good options for kids when the weather is bad, but it's always a great day when the weather is good.
Is this some summer seasonal staff helping out with this too?
These are our camp counselors that we have the influx for the summer, and then we have a few part-time staff throughout the year that work programming and birthday parties and stuff like that.
And it sounds like revenue-wise, this is pretty important for the rec department. It sounds like you do very well with this.
It is it's the largest revenue source, for sure.
Wow. And again, these are kids from a lot of St. Albans kids, but from beyond St. Albans.
Yeah, anyone is welcome to participate in rec programming. St. Albans residents receive a discount for programming, but everyone is welcome.
And what about St. Albans Town? Wasn't the town subsidizing? Does the town still subsidize their?
They do.
Yeah.
So whether you're in St. Albans City or town, you receive the discounted rate.
And wasn't Georgia doing a subsidy too? Is that they were and not anymore?
They were, and then they were not, and then they are now subsidizing aquatic programming.
Oh, is that right? Interesting. And no other towns have done any subsidizing besides what we just mentioned?
No, a while ago, Fairfield did.
No, really?
What happens is a community jumps in and they want this, and then their residents realize it, and I always tell them,
why are we giving money to St. Albans?
Well, they're excited, and so maybe they did. Maybe this community had $8,000 in participation fees the previous year.
Yeah.
Well, when you discount them, and you tell your members, your community members, that you've got a discounted rate now, well, that number that always goes up.
Wow.
People are excited by
Sure.
it. They want to participate, and sometimes that that's a problem budget-wise for some communities. They have a cap where they want to be with rec spending.
Interesting. So with 3 years with City Rec, Lee?
That's right.
Wow, interesting.
She keeps me on, so we keep going.
Happily.
No, it sounds like, boy, Kelly, in fact, how many years is rec director?
I'm not sure. I think this is my 23rd year.
I was going to guess about 20 or so. Wow.
But I did like 4 or 5 at the pool as
Wow.
pool manager before doing this.
Wow.
But I think it's
Well, that's an impressive 10. I logged about 20 years as a radio news guy and stuff, so that's a lot of years.
a lot of fun.
So obviously huge changes. I mean, it's just gotten so much bigger, and I suspect you'd say better, but what are some of the things that just come to mind as you go back to your earlier days? Is it, can you believe how big things have gotten? Or?
I love it. I mean, I had hoped
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
One of the things I do remember, the first year I did basketball, I was pulling the basketballs out of the basement
Right.
at City Hall, and I was like,
Wow.
what is CCC on the, it was, with
No,
a marker,
really?
and it was Central Catholic
Oh,
School.
really?
I mean, that's
Wow.
how old some of the equipment was.
Wow.
And I just remember, like, this is crazy. So one thing that I like is that just because it's a rec program, we don't have to have shabby equipment. I think that when we present a program, it's high quality. I think
Yeah.
the coaches and staff are good and a good representative of the program. I think we have good equipment. I think we have good facilities. I think those things matter. It doesn't. And that's, to me, that's one of the biggest changes is the, besides, an enormous increase in participation, is that it's the quality of programming.
Right. I gotta think most people would be pretty positive about recreation. Money comes into play at times, obviously.
Yeah.
And it sounds like rec sometimes takes a hit if the community's having some money woes. But the importance of recreation, I see stats on obesity, which still totally blow my mind. So is it obvious to you folks that most people out there, see the importance of recreation? I mean, not having to hopefully convince too many people, hey, this is a good thing for your kid or for you to do, or is that all over the place?
Because our programs fill so quickly and regularly,
Yeah.
I think it's definitely something that people want and need.
Yeah.
And so, we don't have much problem selling.
Has that been the case all along, or was it years ago, was it tougher to convince people, hey, it makes sense to put some money into recreation?
Well, I think back to when the pool was in dire need of replacement.
Well, you got your money's worth out of the old
For
pool.
sure. That didn't owe anybody anything.
Really?
But it was community driven. It was, we can't let this pool, we can't lose our pool. This is so important. Look what happens here. Look how many people use this pool. It's really important. So as much as, I felt that, it certainly came from the community too.
Yeah.
And what I think the thing that is most notable to me sometimes, and I'm still surprised by it, because when I was a kid, your mother would boot you out of the house, lock the door, and come back at lunch, So you were outdoors playing. The number of kids who don't spend time outdoors naturally or normally, and then they come to camp and they're kind of like, they're outside all day. And for some kids, it's an adjustment, but it's a good adjustment in the long run. But
Yeah. Haven't given you much, down to 2 minutes. Lee, you want a minute for anything we haven't talked about or anything you want to talk about?
Oh, no, I mean,
Give you a minute.
I appreciate the platform and thanks for having us on and certainly check out, we can plug the website, I guess,
Yeah, for sure.
In fact, that's a good idea.
stalbansrec.com.
The website is,
Yeah, stalbansrec.com.
Yep.
easy enough.
And then check us out on Facebook at St. Albans Rec. Instagram, we're a little lacking in our content there, but we have an Instagram account. Check us out at the Weldon Theater. Come hang out at the pool. Yeah, come see us.
So Kelly, you think you're in pretty good shape? I mean, always issues out there, but you feel pretty good about St. Albans Rec at this point?
I do. I feel really positive, excited, really excited for this summer and new, bringing more people in for programming. So yeah, I feel good.
So again, so the day camp, so a second site, that's a big thing coming up this summer.
Right.
Anything else, any other changes, anything else of note coming up when we get back into warm weather?
We have all kinds of little, kind of shoulder programming. We have all kinds of things going on a regular basis. But our next big thing is Winter Carnival, and that is such a fun, free event for the whole family, and ends with live music and fireworks and.
Wow.
And
So
that's
Saturday,
lucky.
Feb 15.
Yep, and we're so lucky. That's it's free because we have lots of great sponsors, so.
Have you had to wasn't that even canceled in
It
a
was
year or
canceled
two?
1
Just
year.
just 1 year?
A long time ago, and we
You've
thought.
changed the date a
yeah,
couple times.
We've bounced around trying to get better, and it just doesn't matter, but what we decided is, we gotta plan things that if we have no snow, it still works, just
So
adjust.
Saturday, Feb. 15 is a solid date for
Yep,
this.
it
That's
is.
it.
Okay, folks, on that note of the Winter Carnival, hopefully the weather gods will treat you better. Many
hope.
thanks to Kelly Viens, a longtime director of the St. Albans Recreation Department, and Program Manager Lee Barrett. Thanks for your time, folks. Good luck
Thanks,
with
Richard.
everything.
Thanks.
Thanks for my producer, Alan Cunningham. Thanks for watching us here on Northwest Access TV. I'm Richard Cowperthwait. See you next time.